Welcome to Snow Walkers. In this lesson, the students will be using snowshoes to relate to and explore different animal adaptations in the winter. By the end of this lesson, students should be able to demonstrate the proper use of snowshoes, explain why people use snowshoes. They should also be able to list at least 2 animals that are able to survive in the winter and are adapted to moving on the snow. List at least 4 signs that they might be able to find when they're looking for animals that survive outside in the winter. And describe at least 4 different adaptations that help animals to survive in the winter. So you can see we have 3 different sections here. First we'll start talking about some of the adaptations that animals have in the winter. Then we'll talk a little bit briefly about the history of snowshoeing and why people might use snowshoes and how they relate to animal survival. And then the kids will go on a winter walk. And during your winter walk, you want to keep the kids engaged with looking for signs of animals and animal adaptations in the winter using their tracks and pictures of animals that you have. So the materials that you can use for this lesson are pretty minimal, but you have some pictures here of some different animals. They're all adapted to winter environments. And then you have this sheet that shows different animal tracks that the kids might see. You can hand this out and have them go over it. You probably don't want to hand that out to the kids as they're walking around. You want to use this lanyard so they don't lose it. And you can see that each piece of paper has the front and rear paw prints or footprints on one side and then a little description on the other side. So you really can use it to get your kids to slow down and start looking at some of the tracks they might see you trying to identify. So here we are on the windswept hill of Sunset Lake where you'll be finding your snowshoes. You can come right over here to Oak Cabin where you will find all the snowshoes. You can see the snowshoes are organized by size and variety. You'll want to make sure to put your snowshoes back in the same way that you found them so the next person doesn't have to hunt through mismatched snowshoes to outfit their entire class. What we'll do is we'll go through how to put on each style of snowshoe. This one has a ratchet strap, and so how you're going to put the ratchet strap on is you can loosen it by pinching together the white with the rest, and then it just carefully slides out. You don't have to slide it all the way off. In fact, it's easier if you don't. You just want to slide it to the end, pull out the heel strap, and then you can have the kid put their foot in the shoe, and then you ratchet it close just by going like this until it's nice and snug but not cutting off their circulation, of course. Ratchet, 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 and then the heel, you just pull that till it's snug, and then you want it to be pretty tight. Tuck it onto the hook there, and then it goes around the other side, and then you should be all ready to snowshoe. You should be able to lift your foot up, and the snowshoe shouldn't come off the foot, and it shouldn't be able to slide forward and backward, but you will be able to lift your heel up and down because of how the snowshoe is built. So your second kind of snowshoe strap looks kind of like a hiking belt, sort of, and you just have to pull on the end of the strap and maybe hold the buckle to get it to tighten, and then pull back to get it to loosen. Have the kids stick their foot in there. They may be able to pull the straps themselves, but if they need help, you can just get in there and give them a tug, again, so they're snug. They're a little hard to get started, but once you get them going, they're fine. And then, again, on the heel strap, this one, you just give it a good tug, and once it's snug, they should be able to lift their heel up, but it shouldn't slide back. So our last variety is the Northern Lights variety, and you can see that the straps look a little bit like a funky belt buckle, and then the back strap is similar to the last one that we covered. So for this one, you want to put it on the ground. You're going to have to lift these up, put the foot in. Now there's 3 straps on this one instead of just 2. This is probably the trickiest buckle that we have. So what you want to do is you want to pull it nice and tight, and these are a little rubbery, a little stretchy, and then pull it over the hook. And then the trick is to push it down on top of the little metal hook to get it to stay. And then I'm going to do my heel strap just like I did on the last one. Simply pull tab. Okay. All right, and then you're set with the Northern Lights. Well, when you're snowshoeing through the beautiful terrain of Suez, you want to make sure that you instruct your students on some techniques before you let them get started on their hike. So one technique with walking is the kids will find that they'll have to keep their feet a little bit wider apart than normal. If they keep them too close together, the snowshoes are just going to cross over each other and they might trip. So wide stance, and at some point they might get to a tree. If you're in the woods, they might have to cross over. Now the proper technique for crossing over a tree is get parallel to the tree and just step over like this, and will also help prevent falling. Now, when you're going up or down a hill, if it's steep, you want to make sure that your students are walking, again, sideways down the hill, which will help prevent falling. If one of your students happens to fall, there's two ways that they can get up. If you or another adult or another student is close by, you can just have them sit up, put their feet in front of them, and reach out a hand for help. Ta-da! Or you might have them get up on their own. They can just sit up, put one foot down, get on a knee, and then stand up. Upright snowshoers. So just remember, snowshoeing is fun and it's beautiful, but snowshoe with safety.